Hello and welcome to day 124 of the Not Alone Today Chronological Bible Reading Plan. Today we'll be reading Proverbs 1 to 4 using the Living Bible paraphrase.
Chapter 1. These are the Proverbs of King Solomon of Israel, David's son. He wrote them to teach his people how to live, how to act in every circumstance. For he wanted them to be understanding, just, and fair in everything they did. I want to make the simple-minded wise, he said. I want to warn young men about some problems they will face. I want those already wise to become wiser and become leaders by exploring the depths of meaning in these nuggets of truth.
How does a man become wise? The first step is to trust and reverence the Lord.
Only fools refuse to be taught. Listen to your father and mother. What you learn from them will stand you in good stead. It will gain you many honors.
If young toughs tell you, "Come and join us," turn your back on them. "We will hide and rob and kill," they say. "Good or bad, we'll treat them alike. And the loot we'll get, all kinds of stuff. Come on, throw in your lot with us. We'll split with you in equal shares."
Don't do it, son. Stay far from men like that. For crime is their way of life and murder is their specialty. When a bird sees a trap being set, it stays away. But not these men. They trap themselves. They lay a booby trap for their own lives. Such is the fate of all who live by violence and murder. They will die a violent death.
Wisdom shouts in the street for a hearing. She calls out to the crowd along Main Street, and to the judges in their courts, and to everyone in all the land. "You simpletons," she cries, "how long will you go on being fools? How long will you scoff at wisdom and fight the facts? Come here and listen to me. I will pour out the spirit of wisdom upon you and make you wise. I have called you so often, and still you won't come. I have pleaded, but all in vain, for you have spurned my counsel and reproof. Someday you'll be in trouble, and I'll laugh. Mock me, will you? And I'll mock you. When a storm of terror surrounds you, and when you're engulfed by anguish and distress, then I will not answer your cry for help. It will be too late, though you search for me ever so anxiously.
For you closed your eyes to the facts and did not choose to reverence and trust the Lord. And you turned your back on me, spurning my advice. That is why you must eat the bitter fruit of having your own way and experience the full terrors of the pathway you have chosen. For you have turned away from me to death. Your own complacency will kill you. Fools! But all who listen to me shall live in peace and safety, unafraid.
Chapter 2. Every young man who listens to me and obeys my instructions will be given wisdom and good sense. Yes, if you want better insight and discernment, and her searching for them as you would for lost money or hidden treasure, then wisdom will be given to you, and knowledge of God Himself. You will soon learn the importance of reverence for the Lord and of trusting Him.
For the Lord grants wisdom. His every word is a treasure of knowledge and understanding. He grants good sense to the godly, His saints. He is their shield, protecting them and guarding their pathway. He shows how to distinguish right from wrong, how to find the right decision every time. For wisdom and truth will enter the very center of your being, filling your life with joy. You will be given the sense to stay away from evil men who want you to be their partners in crime. Men who turn from God's ways to walk down dark and evil paths and exult in doing wrong, for they thoroughly enjoy their sins. Everything they do is crooked and wrong.
Only wisdom from the Lord can save a man from the flattery of prostitutes. These girls have abandoned their husbands and flouted the laws of God. Their houses lie along the road to death and hell. The men who enter them are doomed. None of these men will ever be the same again.
Follow the steps of the godly instead, and stay on the right path. For only good men enjoy life to the full. Evil men lose the good things they might have had, and they themselves shall be destroyed.
Chapter 3. My son, never forget the things I've taught you. If you want a long and satisfying life, closely follow my instructions. Never tire of loyalty and kindness. Hold these virtues tightly. Write them deep within your heart. If you want favor with both God and man, and a reputation for good judgment and common sense, then trust the Lord completely. Don't ever trust yourself. In everything you do, put God first, and He will direct you and crown your efforts with success.
Don't be conceited, sure of your own wisdom. Instead, trust and reverence the Lord and turn back on evil. When you do that, then you'll be given renewed health and vitality.
Honor the Lord by giving Him the first part of all your income, and He will fill your barns with wheat and barley and overflow your wine vats with the finest wines.
Young man, do not resent it when God chastens and corrects you, for His punishment is proof of His love. Just as a father punishes a son he delights in to make him better, so the Lord corrects you.
The man who knows right from wrong and has good judgment and common sense is happier than the man who is immensely rich. For such wisdom is far more valuable than precious jewels. Nothing else compares with it. Wisdom gives a long, good life, riches, honor, pleasure, peace. Wisdom is a tree of life to those who eat her fruits. Happy is the man who keeps on eating it.
The Lord's wisdom founded the earth. His understanding established all the universe and space. The deep fountains of the earth were broken open by His knowledge, and the skies poured down rain.
Have two goals: wisdom, that is, knowing and doing right, and common sense. Don't let them slip away, for they fill you with living energy and bring you honor and respect. They keep you safe from defeat and disaster, and from stumbling off the rail. With them on guard, you can sleep without fear. You need not be afraid of disasters or the plots of wicked men, for the Lord is with you. He protects you.
Don't withhold repayment of your debts. Don't say, some other time, if you can pay now. Don't plot against your neighbor. He is trusting you. Don't get into needless fights. Don't envy violent men. Don't copy their ways, for such men are an abomination to the Lord, but He gives His friendship to the godly.
The curse of God is on the wicked, but His blessing is on the upright. The Lord mocks at mockers, but helps the humble. The wise are promoted to honor, but fools are promoted to shame.
Chapter 4. Young men, listen to me as you would to your father. Listen and grow wise, for I speak the truth. Don't turn away. For I too was once a son, tenderly loved by my mother as an only child, and the companion of my father. He told me never to forget His words. If you follow them, He said, you will have a long and happy life. Learn to be wise, He said, and develop good judgment and common sense. I cannot overemphasize this point. Cling to wisdom, she will protect you. Love her, she will guard you.
Getting wisdom is the most important thing you can do. And with your wisdom, develop common sense and good judgment. If you exalt wisdom, she will exalt you. Hold her fast, and she will lead you to great honor. She will place a beautiful crown on your head. My son, listen to me and do as I say, and you will have a long, good life.
How would have you learned this great fact? That a life of doing right is the wisest life there is. If you live that kind of life, you will not limp or stumble as you run. Carry out my instructions. Don't forget them, for they will lead you to real living.
Don't do as the wicked do. Avoid their haunts. Turn away and go elsewhere, for evil men can't sleep until they've done their evil deeds for the day. They can't rest unless they cause someone to stumble and fall. They eat and drink wickedness and violence.
But the good man walks along in the ever-brightening light of God's favor. The dawn gives way to morning splendor, while the evil man gropes and stumbles in the dark.
Listen, son of mine, to what I say. Listen carefully. Keep these thoughts ever in mind. Let them penetrate deep within your heart, for they will mean real life for you and radiant health.
Above all else, guard your affections, for they influence everything else in your life. Spurn the careless kiss of a prostitute. Stay far from her. Look straight ahead. Don't even turn your head to look. Watch your steps. Stick to the path and be safe. Don't sidetrack. Pull back your foot from danger. This is the word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God. It's a quick recap of the 4 chapters we've read today. In Proverbs chapter 1, we read about how a person gets wisdom and how only fools refuse to be taught. And then in Proverbs 2, we learned the importance of listening to wisdom, gaining wisdom, and not just wisdom, gaining understanding as well. And then in chapter 3, we read about the blessing of being a wise person. And in this chapter, we were told to have 2 goals: wisdom and common sense. And then in chapter 4, we read about a father's advice about wisdom, in that young men were advised to listen to their parents. And now that if they do listen, they would have a long, good life. And we're also told to stay away from evil people, to watch our step and stick to the path and be safe. So just we're going to go through each chapters and just say what stood out to us in each one. In chapter 1, what stood out to you, my love?
It's verse 7 that summarizes what the entire book in some sense is about. In answering that question, how does a man become wise? The basic first step is to trust and reverence the Lord. That's where it begins, and that's where it ends, in a manner of speaking. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And then he will go on to say in Ecclesiastes, at the end of it all, fear God and obey his commandments. Yeah, that's what stood out to me.
And the same thing stood out to me in chapter 1.
Okay.
And then in chapter 2, verse 6 says that it is the Lord who grants wisdom. If we read what wisdom is described as in these 4 chapters that we've read, and the wisdom that God gave to Solomon, we find that it's different. I have learned that wisdom is acquired. You receive wisdom, and then you learn to do it, to use it via God's help. So if we note in all the things we've read about wisdom in these 4 chapters, we would find that this is not just saying gain wisdom so you can do exploits. This is saying the wisdom you're hoping to gain is hid in God. If you find God, you find wisdom, and you have good and common sense. So in contrast with what we read about Solomon's vast wisdom, and how he applied that, and how that he failed to obey and reverence God, and which made, as explained in the reading of yesterday, we'll find that this wisdom that is being portrayed is actually drawing us back to God. For example, in chapter 2, from verse 3 to 5, we're told that wisdom will be given to us and knowledge of God himself. Then we will learn the importance of reverence for the Lord and of trusting him. If you remember, the last blessing God gave to Solomon, having a long life, it is in him following and obeying God's instructions as God has given to David. But that was not carried out by Solomon. But here we're reading that if we're looking for wisdom as though we're searching for lost money or hidden treasure, then it will be given to us. But this will then have a turnaround, that it will help us to now learn the importance of reverence for God and trust in him, meaning that we will then fulfill that last part of Solomon's what God promised to Solomon, the long life, because then we will learn to follow and obey God and his instructions.
Indeed.
What stood out to you, my love?
For me, it's how verse 10 captures it. The fact that when wisdom and truth really enter the very core of our being, they will fill our lives with joy. I love that imagery in that sense.
Thank you.
Chapter 3.
Chapter 3, I like how it was put succinctly in verse 21. We should have 2 goals: wisdom and common sense. And we should not let them slip away from us. What about you?
Yeah, same. And I think Common sense in the Living Bible paraphrase is what would be understanding in the KJV or the New King James. But I love that in the sense that sometimes we just do some things, or there are some things you would ask God, and it will be like, but he has given you common sense, oh man or oh woman, to know the difference right. Between good and bad in that basic sense. And there are certain other things that we want to use common sense for, that actually what we need at that point is wisdom. One way I've articulated it in one of my previous writings is to say there are questions you would ask God, and God will say, ask Google. And there are questions you will ask Google, and Google will, with millions of results, actually try to tell you, ask God, because it has no clue. And yeah, that's a good summary and framework to work with. We need wisdom on the one hand, we need common sense on the other, and we have access to both, so let's use them.
Thank you for that. And then in chapter 4, verse 14 to 17 stood out to me, and also 23 to 27. Okay. In that we're told in 14 to 16 to not do what the wicked does, to avoid their haunts, turn away and go elsewhere, for they can't but eat and drink wickedness and violence. And then 23 to 27 says the same thing. Spurn the careless kiss of a prostitute, stay far away from her. Look straight ahead, don't even turn your head to look. Watch your steps, stick to the path and be safe. Don't sidetrack, pull back your foot from danger. So here, I like how that this translation called it careless kiss. Because sometimes you might brush it off and say, oh, she didn't mean that. Or he didn't mean to touch me that way. Maybe it was a mistake. We're told not to brush aside any hint of danger, but to not sidetrack, pull back, turn away, not even look, and continue to be attentive to the things around us. I found that very instructive.
Yeah, me too. I like the way verse 5 says, look straight ahead. I remember having a conversation with one of my friends while in uni, and was telling me about the power of a second look. Like, as a young, active young man, it's natural when you see a lady, you want to look and maybe even look again. And it gave me, the way he said it then that has stuck in my head is to just be mindful of a second look. And just say,
that's true.
When you look and then you keep your eyes straight and then you look again.
That's when it cooks you.
Is okay, look at everything.
Look
at
bad,
that and this and that, and yeah. That's when you are walking yourself into traps that you need not to walk yourself into. So yeah, spurn the careless kiss of a prostitute. Stay away. Just look straight ahead. Don't even turn your head to look, and you'll be safe. And that's a good point to wrap it up. 4 chapters already in the book of Proverbs. We turn the page on day 125 as we consider even more from the book of Proverbs. But till then, just remember,
you're not alone
today.
God bless you.